Well, hello everybody. We're coming in live and just seconds ago we've got a severe thunderstorm warning that has now been issued for pretty much all of Searcy County and northern Van Buren County. Now, we're watching this storm very closely. I will tell you um looking at the latest track on it, it did have just some broad rotation, nothing significant, but it was something we were definitely keeping a very close eye on. The newest scan doesn't show it as defined, so that's good news. But regardless, they do have a severe thunderstorm warning, going with 1 inch hail with this and some wind gusts. Let's see. Um, they're not indicating any kind of tornado possible with this, so that's great news. But we do have an active severe thunderstorm warning that is now in effect for pretty much all of Searcy County. I think this is going to be heading directly towards Marshall. So we're going to continue to watch this storm. There's a few things we're watching. I know it's probably storming pretty good in Marshall right now. That's not the reason for this warning. The reason for the warning is this particular storm down here, just to the south of Ben Hur, over towards Whit Springs. We're continuing to watch this storm because it has showed signs of some very broad rotation. However, now it does appear that it is weakening. It had the structure of a supercell, and I think it was definitely likely trying to rotate, but now it seems to be dying off just a little bit. So that's good news. The storm itself is beginning to become stronger in terms of the hail risk. Certainly got a hail risk with it, and it's heading towards Whit Springs. So if you know anybody in the Whit Springs, Snowball, Leslie, Denard, Marshall area, Gilbert, St. Joe, Rock Springs, give them a heads up because we are tracking a severe thunderstorm warning that is now in effect. The problem is this is ahead of the main line. So here's the line back here, and these are these isolated cells we're having to watch. We've got another one we're watching down here towards Perry County. That's pretty strong as well. So numerous storms we're continuing to watch around the area. So let's see what the National Weather Service is stating. Okay, so it appears, no updates on this particular storm, but let's continue to watch this. So, severe thunderstorm warning in effect. This includes Snowball, Whit Springs, St. Joe, Gilbert, Marshall, Leslie. I think the reason for this storm, it had 1 inch hail just a second ago. Now it kind of seems like it's dying off, which is really, really good news. And I think the problem, and I think the reason for this is it doesn't have much storm fuel support right now. Storm fuel is lacking in the area, so that's good news. It is certainly trying to rotate and it's trying to get its act together, but it is not, and that's good news. That's really good news. So we're going to stay right here. We're going to stay on this storm as we're watching this and going to continue to track this. So if you know anybody in Whit Springs, Snowball, Marshall, give them a heads up. We can't see anything on our sky cam because visibility is very low in the Marshall area because, well, there's a storm right now over Marshall. So let's continue. I think there is some increased wind gust with this, potentially close to, let's see, 40 to 50 mile an hour wind gust are certainly possible with this storm as it's racing off to the northeast. So again, it does appear the area of concern and what I think prompted this warning was 1 inch hail and then a small broad area of rotation that appears to have faded away now. And to me, this looks more just like a stronger thunderstorm with some gusty winds. So good news is the tornado threat, which it was very low, but there was certainly a small tornado threat with this particular storm. It does appear it's died off. You could see right about there, it was showing some signs of rotation and still maybe some broad rotation there, but it's just something we're going to have to watch. If it starts to tighten up, we're watching this very close. Safe room is officially unlocked at the high school. So if you need to take cover at the high school in Marshall, it's open for anybody. So we are jumping on this storm early, getting ahead of it quickly. And so it actually shows, let's see, a 74% chance of severe wind with this, a 3% chance of possibility of tornado, and hail is 23%. The issue that we have is that these storms are potentially riding the warm front, and this one might be riding it. And so if it's riding the warm front, like I said, it's more likely to rotate. So that's why we're watching this very close. Really going to be a wait and see game with this particular storm to see what happens. We do have another storm we're watching here again by the Bigelow area, and it's starting to get its act together a little bit with rotation. They've issued a severe thunderstorm warning on it, but I definitely think it's only a matter of time. I mean, storms are starting to crank up. I told you 4 or 5 o'clock. This is the time frame. Here we are. We're in this time frame now where you need to be weather aware and you need to be watching these storms very close. So, really, the big focus is this storm right here near Smyrna. I believe I said that right. Just to the south of Whit Springs. That is the area we are continuing to watch right now. That is our main focus. I think there's heavy rain over Marshall, but the severe weather risk is definitely the storm itself is to the south, causing this severe thunderstorm warning. So, where is the line at and the warm front? Well, according to computer model guidance, the warm front is certainly still to our south, but here's what's weird about this, okay? Look at this. There's a pocket of instability that's developed around the Marshall area, which means this thunderstorm is going to be moving towards that direction. And so, this thunderstorm, if it can tap into this with the amount of wind shear, this is why this storm could be a concern, and it could be a concern pretty quick. So that's why I'm already live on this because of this very reason. Because if this storm can tap into this instability that's present, then we're going to have to watch for the potential of this to rotate and to really pick up steam pretty quick. It's just a wait and see game. That's what we're sitting at right now. We're sitting at a wait and see game. Their National Weather Service is advising they're monitoring the storm in Perry County for rotation. Um, yeah, certainly there is something going on there. I know it's out of our coverage area, but these storms, they're certainly starting to pick up. Let's go back to Skyscan Doppler here for a second. Rotation might be picking back up just a tad bit to Whit Springs here. So there is certainly something we're going to have to watch. I think this is mainly just a hail core, but there's winds going towards the radar site and winds going away, and it's all in the same general location. So, no tornado warning or anything like that. I don't even see enough rotation that would even warrant a warning of any sort, but it's certainly something we are watching very closely because given the environment, and this is what I told you, where that pocket of instability is sitting over Marshall right now. If a storm can tap into this, then this is what we're going to have to watch for. This particular storm right here is just very needs to be watched very close. So it is rotating some. It's not enough to issue a tornado warning by any means, but it is certainly something that's caught my attention that required me to go live real quick. Because this storm is certainly getting its act together pretty quick. So it doesn't have the strongest structure with it, but it definitely, even our NROT is showing right there, which I think this is mainly just a hail core, is what I think, just to the south of Whit Springs. But it is certainly something we're going to continue to watch. But like I said, what's got me a little kind of, I don't want to use the word like watching close enough, but what I'm watching is for the fact, see right there, is this going to start to hook? Is that we've got some storm fuel up in Marshall right now, according to what I'm seeing. And if that storm fuel continues to stay there with this storm and it's rotating, I certainly think it's possible this starts to tighten up. We're just going to have to wait and see. It definitely looks like it's getting brighter. I think this is a bad radar read right here. I don't think that's rotation. I think that's a bad radar read. I think this is the area right here. We're watching this. We're watching this very close. I tell you what, let's go. We're going to go ahead and switch gears for a second. We're going to go to the big screen TV for a second, and we're pulling this up, and we're going to get a better shot of this because I think this does a really good job. So you can see right here, there's certainly something with this. I think it's mainly hail though, but it certainly needs to be watched very close. Like I said, they went ahead and issued a severe thunderstorm warning for this storm. Um, we're continuing to watch this. It's definitely rotating, but it's not rotating much. So uh, it's it needs to be watched. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if they're considering pulling a tornado warning on this. There's certainly some rotation here, and I think it's not tight. It's not tight, so that's good. But it's certainly rotating of some sort here. Let's go in the upper levels and see what it's doing in the upper levels. So this is as the beam goes up. Okay, so it's rotating in the mid levels and it's rotating close to the surface too. It's just not tight. Notice we're not seeing any bright greens. We're just seeing dark greens. So if there is rotation here, it's weak. It's not very strong. The structure with this isn't real strong, but it's certainly something we are watching very closely. Let's continue to track this. I'm looking. I mean, all right. So we're continuing to see this, continuing to track this. I think this is mainly a hail risk with this, but I certainly think there is some broad rotation developing around the Whit Springs area. So, not enough to issue a tornado warning by any means, but it's certainly something I am watching very closely, and my attention is certainly on the Whit Springs area. Matter of fact, we just got a pretty good lightning strike here near the weather center. You can hear the rumbles of thunder. That instability is still showing to be in Marshall. So if it starts tapping into this, this could get a little interesting. We're just waiting to see. Regardless, if you know anybody in Snowball, Marshall, Rock Springs, Harriet, Gilbert, give them a heads up on this. This storm is pretty strong. They're not going with a tornado possible tag, so that's good news. That's good news. There's not enough rotation with it, to support that. But there's certainly something just got hit really close, guys. If we go out of power, we'll be back on just as quick as we can. All right, so just hang on with us. Because that was pretty close. That was a pretty close lightning strike. I certainly think there's a tad bit of broad rotation. It's not much, but it's certainly something we're going to continue to have to watch. Is the Hot Springs storm a tornado warning? Not that I'm seeing just yet, but that could change. Also watching another area. It's very weak, but something we got to watch over towards Atkins. The main focus is this storm right here, though. I mean, I'm telling you guys, it's trying. It's trying its hardest to rotate right now. But it's just struggling. But here's what I want to bring your attention to. Newest data right here. Right here. Mesoanalysis is now showing there is tornado parameters in the Whit Springs area, which means there is some storm fuel now, and there is also some wind shear. So there is certainly, this needs to be watched. I think the winds are increasing with this, and we can see that on our Skyscan Doppler. If we go back to Skyscan here, we're seeing multiple winds here, okay? And you've got multiple You've got winds going towards the radar site and winds going away. We are now seeing close to 50 to 60-mile-an-hour winds with this, but I don't see the rotation. In terms of, it looks broad to me. That's what it looks like right now. Looks very broad. I think this is mainly driven off of a hail core, is what this appears to me. But certainly, this remains needing to be watched very closely. So I certainly think that it was rotating. I think, okay, they're saying moist in Whit Springs right now. Yeah. I certainly think that warm front, I think this storm is riding that warm front is I think what's happening. So, we're just going to have to continue to watch this very close as this continues to push off to the northeast. All right, newest update from the instability shows our instability in Searcy County has faded away. And the reason for that is this storm has taken that instability. So what was here, so let's see what happens with this thunderstorm, because I'm real curious to see what this thunderstorm starts to do. It is kind of a wait game here because, guys, we're not sure. Instability levels are pretty low right now for Searcy County. Van Buren County, they're starting to rise. We're starting to see that warm front moving through. But I certainly think definitely storming pretty good right now. Extremely foggy in Denard. Yeah, it's foggy here at the Weather Center too. So if you're just joining us, we have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for the majority of Searcy County. This includes Gilbert, Marshall, Snowball, Leslie, Landis, Rock Springs, Harriet. Very strong storm making its way into the county right now. There was signs of some broad rotation. I mean, it still looks like it's certainly trying to rotate, but I think this might just be a hell core with it. Let's see. Certainly rotating in the upper levels too. What I'm doing is I'm going up to tilts. Getting dark here in 56. Yeah, it's right on the doorstep of, well, not this particular storm, but probably what's getting dark is this storm over here towards Old Lexington, Fox, those areas. I think this misses. I think this is going to head directly towards Marshall. Directly to Marshall. Or just north of Marshall. Which it would be great if we had our Skycam, which we do. However, if we go and look at that, it's there's no visibility. So we can't see anything right now in the area. So, okay, let's go back to our Skyscan Doppler. Want to stay on this storm. We're just watching to see if it's trying to rotate any. Sky's getting loud and dark in Oxley. Thank you for that report. Certainly, these two storms, given the direction that they're tracking, especially this one could be problems for Van Buren County if it continues. It's trying. It's really trying. Really, the only concerning storm I see is this one for Marshall. Everything else just kind of seems like it's but once you get, what you've got is you've got storms forming ahead of the line. And these storms are supercells. And then you've got the main line back here, which that's going to be storms for us. And that's going to be pushing east. And you've got numerous tornado warnings down here and even tornadoes on the ground. So you've got a lot. You've got a lot going on here between in the state of Arkansas. Yeah, this storm right here. It's only a matter of time before we get our first tornado warning across the state. I don't think this is rotation looks very broad to me now. It was a little bit tighter earlier. So that's good news. That's great news. Um, but we're still continuing to track this. Watching the storms very close. We're seeing a lot of just heavy rain in many areas. So that's good. I think there's very heavy wind. Very heavy wind. 40 to 50, maybe even closer to 60-mile-an-hour winds are on the doorstep of Marshall. Let's get some better towns on this. Let's go max for a second, and we'll analyze the storm a little bit closer. If we zoom in here, so if we're going to see strong winds, it's going to be between Bear Creek, Bohannon, Welcome Home, Watts, Cape, Booster, those areas. Watch this storm close. Leslie, let's put this into motion. I think it's headed between, I think it's going to be between Marshall and Leslie, somewhere in there. I think there's very heavy wind right near Bohannon. 40 to 50-mile-an-hour winds are certainly possible with this storm. You can see it's looking pretty elevated in terms of our velocity scan. Yeah, it's right there. It's certainly still got some kind of look. It's not rotating, but it's definitely got the winds. The winds are driving right now with this. Let's go back to Skyscan Doppler for a second. I think Max is doing a better job. We're going to stay on Max because Max is doing a great job at seeing this right now. So Watts, I think you're fixing to get some wind. Canaan, think you're going to get wind. Snowball, Blanco, Baker Hollow, Marshall. Guys, this is a storm, very strong. Got to watch it. That's where the radar's messing up because radar's inverting the signal. So it had it. Yeah, see, they're having some issues with their radar in Little Rock. It's certainly rotating. Now we're back to what we just had. That was a really good radar scan right there. And then it just switched over. That's an issue with the National Weather Service in Little Rock. But it makes it tricky when it comes to seeing storms like this. Okay, interesting thing what we've got. All right, so we're going to have a cell merger. Let's go Skyscan for a second. We've got a cell here in Denard trying to merge with this cell in Whit Springs. Let's see what this happens. Let's see what this does. Let's see how this evolves. I certainly think the tornado threat is now increasing for Clinton and just south of Clinton. Real quick, let's go to our FAR monitor here. This is mesoanalysis data. Concern is growing on this storm up around Plummerville, Springfield, because look, we've got that warm front rising. There's certainly a tornado threat, and it's starting to build. Yeah, I told you about the significant tornado parameters. They're starting to increase just south of Clinton. So this is something we are going to have to watch very closely, as well as the Clinton area and north of the Clinton area. In terms of a tornado threat, as of right now, according to what we're seeing, the mesoanalysis certainly looks like the strongest activity is to our south. That's good news. That's good news. Does not mean let's guard down. All this means is that, tornadoes can form, but this goes to show you an environment that is a lot more supportive. You can see where your bigger tornado threat is. I mean, like, this is huge, high numbers of significant tornado parameters, but we are off, and it's actually to our south. But I fully anticipate we're starting to see this significant amount of tornado potential shifting into Van Buren County, and that is the concern going over the next several hours. I think it even kind of starts to hit into Searcy County too. The warm front, it's kind of hard to see where it is right now. Um, but what we can certainly see is that that warm front is making its way. Here's Clinton. We're showing 66-degree temperature now and a dew point of 66. So the air is saturated, and we certainly have the storm field moving through. I hope, I really hope that this warm front does not tap into this. If this warm front catches up to this severe storm, then we'll have to watch to see if this thing would start to rotate even quicker than what it is right now. So I'm just telling you, there's a few things I'm watching, and that's one of the big things is does this warm front because it sure is nosing real close to where these thunderstorms are. And I fully anticipate if you're in Clinton, you're probably feeling it's probably feeling pretty stormy now. It hasn't, but now it's starting to be that way. So let's go to Skyscan Doppler here again, just continuing to analyze this storm. I think there's some hail with this. Um, you can see right there indicating just to the south of Marshall. Please keep us updated on Marshall 27 No Sirens, and I have a baby here. I will certainly keep you guys updated as much as I can. And I'm telling you guys, trying to keep everybody in the loop as much as I can. The goal is to not scare you, but just to prepare you and just tell you what I'm seeing. I don't really see any signs of rotation. I think this is mainly just a wind threat with this. I think that's what this is picking up on. But I certainly think that the potential is growing for tornadic storms over the next couple hours. These severe storms is what we're going to have to be watching very closely over the next, I would say, hour, 2 hours. So if you are driving, I would get to a safe location pretty quick, just in case these storms really start to tense up, and I think it's certainly possible they do. Um, this one right here over Jerusalem, we've got rotation. I'm just going to tell you, Jerusalem storm starting to rotate, riding that warm front. That's going to have to be watched very close. New severe thunderstorm warning, and it's on this particular storm right here down towards Perryville and Perry County. That thing is still getting strong. We're starting to see an uptick in storm activity, guys. This is exactly what we expected. This is exactly what we were forecasting. So let's look at this. I think this is a hail core. Just got real still in Marshall. That's I hate to say it. When things get calm, that's not a good sign, but there's certainly some hail with this. So I think that's what this is. I don't really see a tornado threat, not at least right now. Um, there may be some broad rotation just to the southwest of Marshall, but I certainly think that this particular storm continues to build. And like I said, the biggest thing is does the warm front reach this storm? And if that happens, that's where the concern would be. Someone's asking, what radar program is this? This is GR2 Analyst. And then we have Radar Omega, Radar Scope, and then I have GR Earth. So I like to use GR2 Analyst for identifying storms. It does a really good job. So continuing to watch this area would be just to the south of Marshall. I think this is on the doorstep of Marshall right now. I don't see any signs of it rotating other than maybe some very broad rotation just to the south of Marshall, but it is certainly something we are watching very closely. It's all going to depend. Does this warm front reach this storm? If the warm front can reach the storm, which I don't think it will, because I think the warm front's moving a tad bit slower. But I certainly think that the severe weather threat is ramping up, especially for southern Van Buren County, as well as that warm front is surging to the north. It's surging pretty quick. And I tell you what, if somebody said it was already feeling pretty humid in Whit Springs, I would not be surprised if actually this warm front is further than what this is showing, and it's riding the warm front. Is what it makes me think. So continuing to watch this very close. If you're just joining us, I want to welcome you to the broadcast. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect for the majority of Searcy County. This is on the doorstep of Marshall, Gilbert, Rock Springs, Landis, Leslie. I fully anticipate very strong thunderstorm over Marshall. Safe room is unlocked. If you need to take cover, there is no tornado warning, and I don't see anything that would indicate that there should be issuing a tornado warning. Not right now. But I do see a 65% chance of severe wind with this. Very humid in Culpeper. Yeah, it's coming in. The warm front is certainly right on our doorstep. We've got 2 severe thunderstorm warnings to our south. That's a watch, but I'm telling you guys, I'm growing concern with the Jerusalem area. growing significant concern, matter of fact. I think it's only a matter of time before we get our tornado warning, and it's going to include Scotland, Formosa, Cleveland. We need to watch this storm very close because I think we're going to have a tornado warning coming for Jerusalem. I think we're fixing to see a tornado warning anytime on this storm. Don't want to take anything away from the Searcy County storm, but I don't see anything that would make me think storms are looking tornadic. But I certainly think this Jerusalem storm is a concern. So they're saying 55 degrees on South Mountain. So right there, that would indicate that that warm front has not reached South Mountain, which I guess is allowing this storm to stay a little bit on the weakening side. So that's good. That's great news. However, the main concern, still want to pick this up here, but I'm seriously becoming very concerned with the Jerusalem area. Um, NROT, which is our rotation tracker, guys, they're gonna have to issue a tornado warning because this Jerusalem storm is really starting to wrap up. I fully expect we're fixing to see a tornado warning coming, and it's going to be for the Jerusalem, Cleveland, Scotland, Formosa area. So go ahead, share this live stream. Send, call, whatever you got to do to inform your people. Because I fully anticipate we are fixing to see a tornado warning coming for the Jerusalem area. I'm waiting on the National Weather Service to see what they're going to do. But I fully anticipate this is rotating very strong in the Jerusalem area. And it's certainly got rotation right there. So I fully anticipate we are fixing to see some kind of a tornado warning coming. Let's see. Because in my opinion, this has the strongest rotation out of any storm in the state of Arkansas right now, is this Jerusalem storm. It's very strong. You can see it's got that, yep, it's got rotation right there. It's rotating pretty good. I'm just waiting to see what they're going to do, but I would fully anticipate we're fixing to see a tornado warning. I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong on this. But I just think it's rotating. It's rotating pretty strong. And I think it's very possible tornado warning is coming for Jerusalem area. Let's see. Let's go to our significant tornado parameters. We're going to look at that real fast for just a second and show you. Yeah, it's starting to highlight in that area. So I certainly think it's very possible. It's beginning to rotate. It's in the early stages, but it's strong enough now that I certainly think it could really pick up steam. Let's see. Let's see if we get a tornado warning. I think it's only a matter of time if this continues. Yep, tornado warning coming. Tornado warning is coming for the Conway County storm. So we're going to have a new tornado warning that's going to be in effect. This is going to be for Cleveland, Scotland, Formosa. You need to be taking your tornado precautions immediately. This storm is ramping up. So go ahead and share this, tag whoever. We got a tornado warning coming. National Weather Service is typing it up right now. And a new tornado warning. This is going to be our first one of the day. And it's going to include, it's definitely going to include Van Buren County, 100%. So it says moving through the city of Cleveland. So here's Jerusalem, Cleveland. This is a situation, and please take your tornado precautions immediately. We're fixing to see a warning. So if you know anybody in the Cleveland, Scotland, Formosa, Clinton, these areas need to be taking their tornado precautions right now. We're going to watch this storm very close to see the direction that this is tracking. Given the track on this, I may have to take cover. I hope not. I hope, yep, there's tornado warning right there. So it's in effect for Cleveland. Yeah, it's right there. It's pretty strong. This is tight rotation here between Jerusalem and Cleveland. Let's go ahead and we're going to get a better track on this. Let's go max on this storm. I don't want to take anything away from the Searcy County storm. However, we do have an active tornado warning that is now in effect for Van Buren County. So let's get some better locations. So we've got Cleveland here, Gobbler's Point, Jerusalem. So if the area of circulation is going to be right here near Center School Road, if you know anybody in Center School Road or Cal Ford, they need to be taking their tornado precautions. Here's Highway 95 out towards Cleveland, State Highway 95, 124, State Highway. Those areas need to be taking their tornado precautions. Go ahead and be taking shelter. Austin, Formosa, Claude, Gravel Hill. those areas, Robertsville, St. Vincent needs to be taking their tornado precautions. The concern is that this is potentially riding the warm front, and so the rotation is only going to strengthen, I'm afraid. So we're continuing to track this. This has not made it into Van Buren County just yet, but okay, we've got another tornado warning coming for northern Van Buren County. We've got a tornado warning coming for northern Van Buren County. We've got 2 tornado warnings fixing to pop up on the board here. Um, yep, gonna be for north of Scotland, I bet. So we're gonna have 2 tornado warnings in effect for the area. So we're fixing to have 2 tornado warnings here. Um, yep, there's gonna be 2 tornado warning. I'm gonna go ahead, guys, and get ready to take cover. So just hang tight with me. It's going to be a second. We're going to keep the radar on. So don't go anywhere. Um, but we certainly are potentially fixing to have 2 tornado warnings. I'm going to have to take cover on this one right here if this continues to trend the way that it's trending. It's not all that strong, but it's certainly something that we're watching. So potentially we've got 2 tornado warnings. Rotation's really starting to pick up in the Cleveland area. Concern is certainly building for that. Yeah, that's extremely strong rotation here. This is tightening up pretty rapidly, and I don't see anything in terms of it being on the ground or debris being lofted, but I'm going to feel a lot safer if I'm in the safe room. So give me just a second, guys. Hang tight with me. Radar's going to stay up. You guys can see this. Just give me a minute, and I'll be back with you here momentarily on the live stream. But I am going to go ahead and jump into the safe room just to be on the safe side. Just to be aware, because given the environment, this does appear to be pretty supportive of tornadic storms. So certainly this Cleveland storm needs to be watched very closely. And please be taking your tornado precautions. This includes Scotland. Formosa is technically not in the polygon, but need to be watching this very close. So, uh, they haven't issued the second tornado warning. They're talking about it though right now. It does look like the rotation may be weakening though. And if they do issue a tornado warning, it's going to be for the Scotland area. So potentially we're going to have 2 tornado warnings. We've got one near Cleveland and we've got one just to the north of Scotland. So, yep, we got a new tornado warning. It's going to include Searcy County, Stone County, and Van Buren County now. It's going to be for this particular storm right here. This is going to be headed towards our direction. We've got tornado warning here. So, going to be taking cover because I'm officially in it. And I'll be right back, guys, with you. Hang on. We'll be live from the safe room here in just a second. So, hang tight with us. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Okay, guys, we are coming back in here. We are live, bringing you a tornado warning that is now in effect. We've actually got two tornado warnings that is in effect for portions of Van Buren County. So give us just a second as I'm getting situated here. We're watching this storm very closely. So area of circulation, we've got two areas. We've got one to the north of Cleveland, and then we've got another one that is going to be right around, let's zoom in. It's just going to be to the southwest of Denard. So I tell you what, I think we're going to get a better look at this if we go to Max. So I'm going to pull Max up here. Um, so hang tight just a second, guys, as we pull Max up. I'm having to do things a little bit different because I am taking cover now. So if we zoom in with this particular storm, we can see Botkenberg, Old Botkenberg. Specifically, why I'm taking cover right now is for that very reason, because this is the area impacted. We're continuing to watch this storm very, very closely. If you know anybody in the area, they need to be taking their tornado precautions immediately. We're continuing to watch this storm. And so the area right now of circulation would be right around Crabtree. Now I'm continuing to watch two tornado warnings. We've got one right around Crabtree, and then we've got one around Gravel Hill. So we are continuing to watch this storm very close. I'm going to go ahead and switch my audio over. Actually, no, my audio seems to be working good. So we're continuing to watch this very close, and we are monitoring the situation very closely. All right, so we're coming back into the action here. So if we look at velocity scan, the rotation doesn't look as defined as what it was, but there was a little bit of rotation near the Crabtree area, and then there was also some rotation near the Gravel Hill area. It does appear that both locations look to be weakening on rotation. So that is good news. That is great news right there. We're continuing to watch this. I think it's still enough rotation to continue to be issuing a tornado warning. Now, let's continue to watch this storm very close as this progresses to the northeast. There's two areas of circulation, but I think the strongest one is over here around 95 towards the Scotland area. So if we zoom in here and we can see that Gravel Hill, that rotation is still there, but it's not as defined as what it was. As well as I think the Crabtree storm starting to fall apart as well. So I think both of these storms are starting to weaken in terms of their tornadic activity. Now, again, they could be cycling, but it's certainly something good that we like to see. We like to see things kind of starting to decrease and be on the downtrend just a little bit. So we're continuing to watch this very close. Anybody in Clinton, Botkenberg, Denard, Leslie needs to be taking their tornado precautions immediately. This could be cycling. I'm looking at this in multiple radar views, and I can certainly tell that it does appear that the area of circulation, it appears to be weakening some. Storm mode appears to be becoming messy, and so that's good news, but you certainly still need to be in your safe place immediately. So let's see what they decide to do. Rotation's not as defined as what it was. So that's good news, guys. We're continuing to track this tornado warned storm. Again, we've got two. We've got one heading towards the Gravel Hill, up towards Scotland, Walnut Grove, and then we've got another one towards Crabtree, and that's between Crabtree and Botkenberg. So weather centers here in Botkenberg. So we're going to know if something's here, if something's on the ground at this point. We will know. It was pretty foggy. It appears to be clearing out now. And I just walked outside just a second ago, feeling pretty warm and humid. So I think this storm is potentially riding the boundary. The question is, did the boundary stop? Where does the boundary stop is the question, the warm front. Because if storms ride the boundary, then they would be more likely to rotate. So we're continuing to watch this storm very closely. We're live on this, and we are in the safe location. Don't worry, guys. We are safe. We're ready. We are ready, and I'm right outside of our safe location, and we are good to go. If we put this into motion here, this is the track still showing some rotation. Newest scan looks to be still weak around the Botkenberg area. I think this is mainly going to be a wind risk, but I certainly think that the Scotland storm might be tightening up just a tad bit again. We're going to continue to watch this very close. So if you know anybody in Scotland, Gravel Hill, Pleasant Grove, over towards Claude, Scotland, Culpeper, Walnut Grove, these areas need to be taking their tornado precautions immediately. There's no reason to wait. Even though the rotation does appear to be weakening, which is great, I still think there's still some rotation to the north of Gravel Hill. Let's look at, which I don't have this pulled up where you guys can see it, but there's certainly still rotation there, or right around the Scotland area. So I certainly think the storm potential is still present for that. I think it's weaker though, just the south of Denard on that storm. So if you know anybody in these areas, they need to be taking their tornado precautions. Right now, we've got 2 active tornado warnings that is in effect, and we told you that was the concern today. And I will tell you, even after this, we're not done. I think looking at the mesoanalysis data, the tornado threat is increasing for southern Van Buren County, and there's more storms to our south. So I think focus is fixing to shift once these storms move out of our coverage area south of Van Buren County. But there's still concern here. So if we continue to track this and continue to look, we've got Scotland, Gravel Hill. Those areas need to be taking their tornado precautions. It looks like it may be tightening back up again in the Scotland area, which makes sense because I think it's riding a warm front. Getting pretty dark here in Botkenberg right now. So what? Well, evidently there's people over near our church right now. Lined up watching this storm very closely. So tornado warning is in effect. We've got 2 tornado warnings. We've got one that includes the Scotland area, and then we've got a second one that includes more of the Denard, northern Van Buren County. So I think the Denard storm does appear to be weakening just some, but I certainly think, there's still some rotation there that needs to be watching very close. So if there's a tornado on the ground, it's going to be between Copeland and Botkenberg. We still have electricity here. There was a very sharp strike, pretty recent, very close here.
Okay. Yeah, no, we're not cool.
All right, we're watching this. We're continuing to watch this right now. So again, the area of circulation is going to be, right around the Scotland, Walnut Grove, Culpeper area. It's a little bit hectic here, guys. We got people calling, some concerned neighbors. Completely understand. There's reason to be concerned with a tornado warning like this. But continuing to watch the Botkenberg storm, not looking as strong as what it was. I still think there's some rotation with this, but I think it's mainly a wind risk. I certainly think the attention is really on the Scotland area, and still seeing rotation with that. So we're continuing to watch this as close as we can here, and continuing to keep a very close eye on this. Let's look at the NROT, which you guys can't see that, but it's lightening up. We're fixing to have some more people, it appears, coming in at the weather center with this tornado warning. So going to do my best to continue to have coverage. I know it's probably going to get a little loud in here, guys. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. We've got several people that appear to be heading over here to the weather center. So we're continuing to watch this. My mom just got home, so that's good news. She was driving. So I was trying to kind of give her a heads up with this. But I think the Botkenberg storm appears to be weakening pretty quick. I don't see much rotation with this. I think it's mainly a damaging wind risk. I think the Scotland storm appears to be maybe fading away as well. I'm not seeing anything that looks defined in any kind of rotation. So, in terms of rotation with either storm, I think the area of I think the area of concern is certainly, still towards the Scotland area. I think the Botkenberg storm area does appear to be weakening some. So, but still, if you know anybody in Rocky Hill, Denard, Botkenberg, Old Botkenberg, Plant, they need to be watching and taking their tornado precautions, as well as anybody that lives near Scotland, Gravel Hill, Claude. The area of circulation is going to be right around Scotland to Walnut Grove, somewhere in there. That's where it appears where the rotation is. So we're continuing to track this tornado warning storm. We've actually got 2 tornado warnings in effect. Like I said, the rotation appears to be weakening some. And, I think if there's going to be a tornado in the northern part of Van Buren County, it's going to now between Botkenberg and Plant. We're in Botkenberg right now, and it does not appear we have a tornado. So that's good right now. But you still need to be taking your tornado precautions. I don't see much rotation with this. Truthfully, I think this is mainly just a damaging wind risk now. At least that's the way it looks between Denard and Plant. So, and I think the Scotland storm appears to be weakening too. So, I don't know. Let's see what they're going to do here. It looks like they're fixing to issue a new tornado warning, and it's going to be for southwest of Conway. So that's, stuff starting to fire to our south, it appears. But we're continuing to watch this storm very closely. We've got 2 tornado warnings, but, it's really hard to pick out the rotation here, guys, which is great news. I think the storms are kind of falling apart. At least that's the way it looks right now. So that's good. That's good. But I still think there's a tornado threat between Scotland and Walnut Grove. Once this storm dies down, then the concern is going to be on the storms to our south. This would be towards Morrilton, Conway, Perryville. There's a storm developing down there, but I just think the rotation just looks less defined than what it was. So that's good. Going to take a look at another thing here. Switching gears for a second. I'm switching to another computer program. I'm not sure. All right, we're continuing to watch this. Storms are starting to pick up in intensity here. Things are starting to ramp up just a tad bit here in the Botkenberg. Storms are starting to ramp up in the Botkenberg area. We've got lightning increasing. We've got a lot of people coming over here at the Weather Center. So again, if you can't, I'm going to try to speak louder as much as I can. So we're just continuing to watch this. The 2 tornadic storms that we're watching right now appear to be on the weakening trend, at least right now. We're continuing to watch numerous locations. If we're looking at rotation, it's going to be between in the Scotland area, but just what I'm seeing just doesn't look all that defined. I think it's pretty broad. I think it's pretty broad, but if there's going to be a tornado, it's going to be moving towards Plant now, over towards Elba and Half Moon. Plant needs to be taking their tornado precautions. Flag needs to be taking their tornado precautions. Alco, Timbo, over here towards Fox, need to be taking their tornado precautions. I think this thing is really falling apart. I think it's becoming messy, and I think that warm front, I think it's starting to get out of an area where the warm front's reached it. And so I think the threat is starting to die down some. So we're continuing to watch numerous cells developing to our south here. The focus is, and there's that tornado warned storm southwest of Conway. Given the track, that could include southern Van Buren County. So don't think we're out of the woods just yet, everybody that's watching this live stream. So I said there's another tornado warning to the south of Conway.
For right here.
It looks like it's weakening.
It's weakening.
Yeah, I think it's weakening. So that's good. Yeah, it's certainly storming, certainly very strong. But I really think that it's hard to even see the rotation now. So it's pretty weak. If there's still going to be anything, it's going to be between Denard, Elba, Half Moon, over towards Plant. It's past us here in terms of that first storm. Second storm, still to our south. That one would be what I would watch for us here, everybody, would be this second storm up towards the Scotland, Walnut Grove area. Yeah. That one, because that's still headed to, that one's got a direct path to Botkenberg, but, I don't see it being very strong. It doesn't look all that strong right now, so. Are the phones messing up? All right, to the north of Scotland, still seeing some broad rotation. Um, and then there's some other broad rotation to the east of Denard, but I think it obviously does not look like what it was previously. It looks way less defined. I mean, the lightning's pretty rocking here. That was pretty close. That was pretty scary. Um, so we're continuing to track this, guys. Continuing to watch this thunderstorm. I'm thinking they might cancel warnings. I'm not sure.
I think so. I wanted Rhonda and Mandy, Rhonda and.
We're continuing to watch this storm very closely. We've got tornado warnings in effect for 2 tornado warnings in Van Buren County right now. Again, we've got the one to northern Van Buren County, and then we've got one in southern Van Buren County. It appears both storms really just look like they're weakening everybody. So that's really good news. That's really good news. I don't think the warm front is able to tap into these storms. And so, matter of fact, it looks like, according to the significant tornado parameters, the highest parameters are way to our south and to our east. So that's good news. It also looks like storm fuel. There's certainly still some storm fuel there. Let's see what the phones are going off for. Did they just reissue it? I don't know if they just reissued it or what they've done. I'm not sure. I'm not looking at NWS chat right now, guys, so just hang on. But what I can see from my screen is there's certainly still a, tornado warning in effect. There's actually 2. The first warning for northern Van Buren County does not include Clinton. The second one does include Clinton. So we're just continuing to watch this until we've got a new tornado warning that's just been issued. This includes the B Branch area, B Branch out towards Fairfield Bay. Shirley's now included with this. So a new tornado warning. The rotation is going to be between B Branch, right here near Southside. So anybody on 65 needs to just pull off the road at this point. We have 3 tornado warnings now in effect for Van Buren County. We've got So the tornado outbreak, the thought of that is definitely panning out. I don't think we have any confirmation of anything on the ground. Let's see what the National Weather Service is stating. Okay, nothing right now, but we've got 3 tornado warnings in effect. We've got this newest one is for B Branch towards Green Tree. I'm going to take a look at the data with that. Let's see. That's got some stronger rotation up around B Branch right now. There's certainly concern building for the B Branch, Morganton, Fairfield Bay. You are in the polygon. You need to be watching this storm very closely. Bruce Ferry, be watching this. Prim, watch this very close. I really think if we look at the different tornado warnings across, I think the strongest one right now has to be this Morganton storm. I think everything else is kind of dying down as of right now. We're continuing to watch this storm very close. And like I said, Green Tree, B Branch, Southside appears to be the area that we're watching. So we've got 3 tornado warnings in effect for Van Buren County. This is getting pretty hectic. I expected warnings. So this is all expected. I just think that the warm front, let's just hope this warm front is not, let's just hope these storms aren't riding this warm front. I don't think they are, not right now at least. But the B Branch one, I'd be more concerned of that happening with. So if you're just joining us, we're continuing to track tornado warnings. We've got 3 across Van Buren County right now, 3 across Van Buren. And we're continuing to track this very close. I know there's questions coming in. And I can't look at the questions, guys. We've got almost 500 people in here and multiple people are asking questions. Here, the bottom line with this is please stay weather aware. Please stay keeping a very close eye on this storm. We're going to continue to watch this. So like I said, we've got 3 tornado warnings. We've got one that does include northern Van Buren County, one that includes the southern part of Van Buren County, and then we've got one that includes the eastern part of Van Buren County. 3 tornado warnings right now across our area. So there's numerous locations where storms are rotating. I think the strongest storms, though, I personally think they might start canceling some of these warnings. I don't like the structure, though, just south of Clinton. That makes me think more supercell. That could be riding the warm front. So let's continue to watch this very closely, and we're going to continue to track this. Let's go. Let's continue to watch all these areas very closely. I think, though, the strongest area is going to be right around the Morganton area. So really watching the Clinton area. I think just to the north of Formosa, we could have another tornado warning coming, and it could be just to the north of Formosa. And I don't know if they'll issue another one, if they'll just extend this box, but certainly we could have 4 tornado warnings here in just a second if this continues to trend the way it's trending, because I see an area of rotation developing, and it's going to be just to the north of Formosa. So, I think if you're looking at a concern level, who has the strongest rotation beyond these 3 warnings, it would be Morganton. Morganton seems to have the best location of rotation right now, but certainly there's still some rotation. I don't really see any rotation in northern Van Buren County. I think that's faded away, so that's good news. I certainly think that that's good. I expect a cancellation of the warning to northern Van Buren County. We could see a cancellation of the Scotland storm, but I think there could be another tornado warning coming for Formosa area. We are just continuing to watch this very closely. Let's see what they do, but I think it's very possible we see another warning coming for the Formosa area. Let's just see. Regardless, tornado warnings popping up like crazy. There's enough storm fuel, and I think it's riding the line, and that's why we're seeing so many tornado warnings popping. There was concern, and that concern continues to build for our area. So I think the strongest storm is probably over here to the northeast of B Branch. So we're continuing to watch this storm very, very closely. So hang tight, guys. I'll be right back. All right, we're coming back into the action here. Had to take just a second of a break, but now we have another. Let's see, do we have another tornado warning that was just issued? Yes. We've got a brand new tornado warning in effect. So now we're back to just 3. They went ahead and canceled the one to the north, but 3 tornado warnings in effect, and I still see rotation on all 3 of these storms except for the northern part. I think they could go ahead and cancel that. That one expires in 6 minutes. I think they'll cancel that. That is for the Botkenberg area. It includes Botkenberg, Denard area. So I think they'll cancel that one. However, there's a storm around just to the south of Clinton. Looks like it's trying to get its act together a little bit. But the strongest storm I see right now is between Choctaw and over towards Fairfield Bay. That area right there. Let me go switch gears for a second. I'm going to go and look at our, there's certainly still rotation right around to the north of Morganton. There's certainly activity building here. So we've got 3 tornado warnings in effect for Van Buren County. This includes northern Van Buren County, central Van Buren County, and southeast Van Buren County. Strongest storm right now appears to be to the north of Morganton right now. So we're continuing to track this. I still see an area of rotation just to the south of Clinton. It's broad, but it's enough, and I think that's where that new warning came in just now. So I think they're going to let this one expire. That includes Old Lexington, Denard. I think they're going to let that one expire. I do think they're going to continue the tornado warning for Morganton, though, and that's going to be southeast Van Buren County. And then I think they could include and still keep, well, I think they'll keep the one that they just issued for Clinton. Certainly still showing some activity there. If we look at significant tornado parameters, though, the good news with that is the highest risk looks to be to our south now. So that's good. That's great news for everybody. That does not mean we're out of the woods. That just means that conditions for more favorable tornado development is moving to the south. However, we're continuing to see more tornado warnings popping up across the state, but right now we got 4 tornado warnings across the state of Arkansas, and literally 3 of them are in Van Buren County. So that just goes to show you, when I told you guys that I was concerned about our area, that is why. 3 tornado warnings in Van Buren County and 4 in total across the state. I mean, Van Buren County is just getting rocked with tornado warnings right now. So we're continuing to watch this. Let's go back to our velocity scan. I don't see, there's still something right here between Shirley, Fairfield Bay, down towards Sulphur Springs. Continuing to watch this. It's just kind of we're just waiting here. We're just waiting right now. I think storms are continuing to ride this warm front, and I think there's still a tornado threat. But I think they're probably going to go ahead and cancel the tornado. It expires in 3 minutes. I think they're going to allow it to expire. I don't see any rotation northern Van Buren County anymore. So that's great news. So that's good. But I certainly think that there's still 2 warnings right now. We got one for the Clinton area, and then we've got one more towards okay. I did not see that. Where's Springfield? Okay.
Arkansas.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Hang on, guys, just a second. Looking at something real fast. That's okay. That's gonna be this one down here. This tornado warning towards Shady Grove, Bono, and Holly Springs. Somebody commented something about maybe a possible tornado on the ground in that area. National Weather Service has not confirmed that just yet. I don't think. Let me verify that, but potentially there is something there. Let's see. No, they're not showing that as a confirmed tornado on the ground. I know they've got a storm chaser down in that area, and it may have touched the ground for a minute, but as of right now, I am becoming very, very concerned with the area north of Morganton. Rotation appears to be strengthening, and our tornado tracker is really starting to light up in this area. So let's zoom in, because we need to look at this very closely. I think we could have a tornado potentially developing, and it would be just to the southwest of Fairfield Bay. I think between Green Tree and Fairfield Bay, you need to be taking your tornado precautions immediately. Rotation tracker appears to be ramping up right now. This is potentially a dangerous situation unfolding. We don't have confirmation if it's on the ground or not, but this is certainly a concerning thing to see. So continue to watch this storm very closely. We're going to continue to watch this. Going to continue to bring you coverage. We think, we don't know for certain if it's on the ground or not, but given as tight as that rotation appears, and given the structure of it, it almost looks like if we had 2 tornadoes, it could be, you've actually got a tail on the storm just south of Shirley. Then you've got a tail towards the south of Clinton. So potentially you could have 2 tornadic storms here. And I think that's what we're seeing. But it looks like strongest rotation is between, I think this is over towards Eglinton, I believe. Hopefully I'm saying that right. And just to the south of Shirley. Highway 330 right there. You need to be watching this very closely. Fairfield Bay, I cannot stress this enough. Fairfield Bay, take cover right now. If this is on the ground, this is headed directly for Fairfield Bay. Shirley, take cover. If you know anybody to the east of this tornado warned storm, they need to take cover. Storm is moving fast. I think they're going to go. They did cancel the tornado warning for northern Van Buren County. Northern Van Buren County is no longer in the tornado warning. So we up here are no longer in a tornado warning. That's good. However, we still got a tornado warning to our south, and then we actually have two tornado warnings to our south. These will not impact us, though. This is going to be moving off to the northeast. So at this current moment, if you're in Botkenberg, Denard, Leslie, Marshall, I do not see any storms that look concerning at this time. The tornado warnings are going to go off to our east, and so that's good news for anybody that lives north of Clinton. But I still certainly think there is a tornado threat for Shirley, Fairfield Bay, down towards Clinton. We are continuing to watch this storm very closely and going to continue to track this. Here in just a second, I'm going to be switching gears and I'm going to go back into the Weather Center and be back to tracking these tornadic storms. So give us just 1 second. Once I've verified that there is nothing concerning, I will be returning back to full coverage in the Weather Center momentarily. So we continue to see very concerning signs just to the west of Fairfield Bay. Shirley, Fairfield Bay. Anybody in the Fairfield Bay area needs to be taking their tornado precautions immediately. There's some really concerning signs with this particular storm. You know, I think it's certain that there could be something with this. The structure of this, I just don't like how this looks. This speaks some concern, and I'm just trying to tell you. I think what's going on is I think this storm is merging. I think you've got two storms merging, and you've got a tail building just to the east of Clinton. And I think inflow's coming into the storm in Clinton, and I think it's going to start to ramp up. And so we're going to go ahead, and I don't see anything that would, I don't see any more concern right now for the Van Buren County area. For northern Van Buren County, So I'm going to go ahead and go back into the Weather Center and be back on with coverage. We'll be back here in just about 30 seconds to a minute. All right, guys, we're back. We are back here. We are definitely tracking this tornado warned storm, but we're back into the Weather Center. It is safe to return. If you're northern Van Buren County, you no longer have a severe weather threat, active severe weather threat, that is. There is a severe thunderstorm warning building, so the severe weather threat is certainly not over, but as of right now, it appears to be no active tornado warning for northern Van Buren County. The concern is still on the storm, though, right here near Clinton. And this would be Clinton over to Fairfield Bay to Shirley. The look on this speaks supercell to me. It speaks concern. I think anybody in Fairfield Bay, Goose Ferry, over towards Prim, Hanover, Shirley, Old Lexington needs to be taking their tornado precautions. Polygons are kind of weird how they're set up right here. But I certainly don't think we're over. It's not over. There's still severe thunderstorm warnings. And we've got one strong severe thunderstorm warning to our west. So just because the tornado threat might not be cranking for our area, in terms of your area up here in Searcy County or over here towards northern Van Buren County, as of right now, there's still concern to our west. So we're going to continue to watch this. So right now, I think there's some serious concerning signs with this particular storm. I definitely do. Going to continue to watch this. I don't think the rotation is as defined as what it previously was. And you can see that because if we go to our rotation tracker, we're seeing this kind of weakening a little bit, but that's what it was. It was very strong rotation. And so now it appears to be maybe dying off some. But I think anybody right here on Highway 9 between Shirley up towards Fox, Hanover, you need to be keeping a very close eye on this storm and be taking your tornado precautions. Anybody between Clinton up towards Old Lexington, Shirley, Fairfield Bay, they need to be watching this storm very closely. This, regardless of there being a tornado threat, because there's definitely one, there also is a hail risk. We've got potentially almost 1 inch hail with this. Actually, according to the newest radar scan, showing 1.52, 1.52 inch hail with this. So, not 2 inch hail, but it's certainly close. New tornado warning in effect, and it's exactly for this area. We've got Fairfield Bay in this, Gruce Ferry. Technically, you're not in it, but Higdon is. Prim is also in it. Shirley is also in it. So we have two tornado warnings. It's for the same storm, but it's just kind of an extension. So Timbo, you're now in the tornado warning. Alco, you're in it. Mountain View, Hanover, Fox, definitely in the tornado warning. So very strong thunderstorm. We don't have any confirmation if it's on the ground or not. I'm not seeing any signs of debris being alofted. So that's really good news. I do see a hail core that has developed, but I don't see anything in the way of, any kind of significant amount of wind shear right now, but it does appear it might be tightening up some. Surely, this is right on your doorstep. You need to be taking your tornado precautions immediately. Denard, over towards Clinton, you're okay now. Leslie, Marshall, you're okay. Just watch this severe thunderstorm warning that's to our west. So we're continuing to watch this very close. The focus right now is between Old Lexington to Shirley out towards Fairfield Bay. So, there, like I said, there's a hail core building, pretty strong, something we got to continue to watch. Let's go back to Max here and let's look at this. And so, if we zoom in, we get some better towns here. Here's Highway 110. So, Highway 110 connecting to 9 near Shirley. You guys need to be in your safe place immediately. We don't have any confirmation if it's on the ground or not, but you need to treat this as if it was. Here's Old Lexington over towards Rushing by Parma near Brewer. These areas need to be taking their tornado precautions immediately and watching this storm very close. Is Clinton good? Clinton is good right now. But again, there is a severe thunderstorm warning to our west, and that is going to be pushing to the east. And I certainly think that could impact us. That's the main line. These thunderstorms we're tracking right now is thunderstorms that have developed ahead of the line and have went warned. So let's go back to Skyscan Doppler here because you can see kind of an overview. We do have some activity building in southern Arkansas. There's a storm up here towards Scott County that's warned, but the main focus is this tornado warned storm between Old Lexington over towards Shirley to Fairfield Bay. If we go to our rotation tracker, it's starting to really tighten up. I think that might be off though, because I feel like the area of rotation would be potentially in this particular part of the storm, not where it is. So it's kind of hard for me to think that this radar might be doing an actual good job at seeing this storm. But I certainly think if we were looking at exactly where the rotation is, it'd be right in here. I certainly think there's some, and you can see it right there. So I think this might be a bad radar read, but regardless, very strong thunderstorm, and it is warned, and it's going to affect, it's heading right for Fox, Hanover, Shirley. You need to be watching this storm very closely. It's heading off to the northeast. So if you know anybody in these areas, they need to be watching this storm very closely. We're continuing to track this tornado warned storm. Old Lexington, you are still in the warning polygon. Shirley's still in it. Fairfield Bay is also in it. I think it's going to the north of you, Fairfield Bay. Don't get out of your safe place. Do not get out of your safe place. But I think the storm is to your north. So that is good news. We're continuing to track this as this continues to push off to the northeast. So we are watching this very closely. Let's go back to Max and get some better locations. Again, it's right on the doorstep of Shirley. I'm serious. Anybody between Shirley up towards Rushing, up to Turkey Creek, Fox, you guys need to be in your safe place immediately. Regardless, again, of the damaging potential of a tornado here, you also have a hail risk too. Over 1 inch hail is definitely likely with this thunderstorm. So not only do you have a tornado risk, but you also have a risk for tornadic storms with this particular thunderstorm. So Listen, everybody, um, we're not done with this. Once this gets past us, we have another chance. We've got severe thunderstorm warning developed to our west. That is pushing to the east. That is going to be strong, potentially severe. So we are certainly not out of the woods just yet. And the storm fuel appears to be making its way into Van Buren County more now than what it was. So certainly, another concerning thing. So let's continue to watch this and continue to track this. Let's go back to our Skyscan Doppler here. So we've got a tornado warning. We technically have two tornado warnings. It's for the same storm though. One is an extension, and let's see when this one expires. This one expires. Well, it looks like both of them expire in 19 minutes. So both of them are going to continue on. There was potentially two storms rotating. They merged together, and now they're just one. And the concerning part is that now, instead of them fighting back and forth, it is certain that they could. It's just one that has to get strong. So, okay, I'm reading stuff here. Information coming in from the National Weather Service stating that as storms move to the northeast, they become weaker, which is true, because that warm front, um, it's less warm up there, as well as the tornado parameters are a little bit lower. So, but certainly still a storm we need to keep a very close eye on. Um, in terms of rotation, I don't see I don't see much with this. I see some, but this is good news, guys, because at first this was looking pretty tight. The rotation was pretty concerning. You can see on Inrot there's a little bit of something here, but I think this potentially is a bad radar read. It's what I think. Let me get confirmation of that real fast. Let me look at another piece of software and see if that's what we're seeing. Yeah, it's really hard to make out any rotation with this. Let me go to my storm relative velocity. There's still some there. Let's go. All right, hang on. Let's go to this for a second, because this is going to do a better job. Yeah, you still see the area of rotation here. It's going to be just to the north of Fairfield Bay, and here's Shirley. So it's going to be just to the northeast of Shirley, northeast of Shirley. That appears to be the area that we're watching. Still some rotation with it. This is going to be heading off towards Mountain View, up towards 56. Let's see what Mount Olive, Melbourne. Really need to be watching this particular storm. It's certainly still got rotation, and the area of rotation is going to be to the northeast of Shirley. If there was going to be a tornado, it is literally here's Shirley. It's going to be north of Fairfield Bay, almost directly north, and to the northeast of Shirley. So this area right there is potentially where the tornado would be. If we go back and look at Max again, let's analyze this a little bit closer. And I'm going to go to storm relative velocity. Yeah, right there. Right there. Okay, this is a good scan right here. Great scan. All right, we can see that just it's between Rushing and Parma. So here is Rushing, here is Parma. So the area of circulation is right in here. It's near 263. So 263 off towards Turkey Creek. Here's Turkey Creek. So this is the area that we're watching. There is still some rotation with this. Let's look back at what it was, and it was strengthening some, but it seems like it's really starting to get its act together. It may be stronger than what it may be stronger than what it has been. Honestly, it's really starting to look like it might be tightening up some, which is concerning. So, Turkey Creek need to be in your safe place immediately. Hanover, take cover. West Richwoods need to be taking cover. This is starting to get out of our coverage area. This is more into Stone County. However, this is a very potential dangerous situation as this continues to strengthen. Let's see. Let's see if the NWS decides to do anything here with this particular storm. At this time, the severe thunderstorm or the tornado threat, according to what I'm seeing, if there's going to be a tornado, it's going to be out of Van Buren County now. It's going to be between Rushing and Parma. Like I said, Turkey Creek, need to be watching this. Newest scan, looking a little bit weaker. So that's good news. Rushing down to Parma, up to Turkey Creek. Those 3 locations, 263. Know anybody in this area? They need to be taking their tornado precautions immediately. So now that technically this storm is making its way out of Van Buren County, it's out of our coverage area, what are we expecting? I don't want to take anything away from that tornado warning, but I do want to bring your attention to the area that is to the west of Van Buren County. It's another strong storm. And I don't see any rotation with it, but we're going to have to watch. Pope County, very strong, severe storm heading towards our direction. So Van Buren County, you're not out of the woods. Searcy County, you're not out of the woods either. So certainly this is going to be our focus now that this storm is moving out of the area. But seriously, anybody in Fox, Hanover, Mountain View need to be watching the storm very close. The rotation doesn't look as defined as what it was, but it's certainly there was some serious concern earlier. I think what's happening is it's getting out of it was riding the warm front, and now it's starting to get out of the area where the warm front is. And so I think that's going to start to weaken some, which is really good news. But the big focus is going to be this severe thunderstorm warning. And this goes all the way from Swain all the way down to Knoxville. Severe thunderstorm warning. Here again, we talked about this for 3 days in a row now. Fort Douglas. Watching the Fort Douglas area for this area right here. So not seeing anything in the way of rotation, but this storm is sure shifting off to the east here. So we're continuing to track this storm, and we're going to continue to watch this very closely. There is a severe thunderstorm warning. It's likely this will be extended, and it will include Van Buren and Searcy County. So we're certainly not out of the woods in terms of severe weather, but I do think our tornado threat may be going down just some. So that's good news. Thankfully, I haven't heard anything about damage, so that is great news. But we I think at one point had 3 or 4 tornado warnings. It was pretty active earlier. So, all right. So Stone County, continue to watch this storm. They're continuing the tornado warning. I think there's still rotation with it. They're still watching it very closely. It's really messy. It's hard to pick out rotation. And I'm watching over here towards definitely watching in Johnson County for any kind of concerning signs. I think there's definitely some wind. The wind is certainly on the increase. We're just going to have to watch. This could be riding the boundary again. It's just going to remain to be watched. So I'm going to take a drink of water real quick. As of right now, we have nothing pressing between Van Buren or Searcy County other than some stronger storms. So that's good news. Still 55 on South Mountain. Good indication right there. That warm front has not reached you, and I don't think it will. So that's good news. That is really good news. Appreciate everyone tuning into this broadcast. I know things got a little hectic. We had several people over at the Weather Center. So things got a little crazy earlier. But I definitely think that things are starting to settle down a little bit. So that's good news for our area. I certainly think that attention needs to be on this severe thunderstorm warning between Pope and Newton County. I think it's very strong. And then once we get past this, then the concern is going to be on a lot of rain. Like there could be some life-threatening flooding taking place. So that's also a concern. So we're going to continue to watch this very close. And I appreciate everyone tuning into this broadcast. We've had a lot of people on tonight. And hopefully I have kept everybody safe. And 70 degrees on 254 at Shady Grove Road. Yeah, if you're 70 degrees, that's not good. That's not good at all. That's why I certainly think there's still a severe weather threat. And there's even still a tornado threat, truthfully. Really watching this Dover storm close. Got to watch it. This is a line of thunderstorms. The good news is, if something like this was to spin up, it would be a quick spin up versus a long track tornado. We got lucky on this. If we don't get damage or have any reports, we got real lucky on this. And I'm very thankful for that because, things could have things could have went downhill real fast with the environment we had. Um, I'm just so thankful that things did not get going the way that some of the computer models were showing. I mean, at one point it kind of did. I mean, we had I think 4 tornado warnings in effect, and like I said, at one point I made the comment. I said, "You've got 4 tornado warnings across the state, and 3 of them are in Van Buren County." Like when I tell you guys I was concerned today, I meant it. Like, and I normally don't get overly concerned, but the ingredients today just spoke tornadoes, and that's exactly what happened. So I certainly believe if that one front would have made it up to like Harrison area, we would be tracking long destructive tornadoes and we would have tornadoes on the ground in Van Buren County. I 100% agree with, or 100% think that's the case. Uh, so, all right, we got somebody asking about Conway. Right now, I'm not seeing much in the way of Conway, but look, there's more developing here. Uh, gonna have to watch D Queen over towards Nashville. Things are starting to pick up intensity there, but in terms of Van Buren County, things just kind of seem to be clearing, other than the severe thunderstorm warning that's making its way near the area. So, um, we're going to continue to have radar on here, and I'm going to continue to show this live on radar. I'm going to take a small break, and I will be back with you guys here. Let's go back. I'll be back to coverage. We're going to stay live. We're going to stay live, so you can stay right on. But I'm just going to take just a little bit of a break because things just got pretty active real fast. And so I'll be back on here. Uh, let's say probably 620 or 625. I'll be back on here to give you guys an update. We're going to continue to watch this, and trust me, if something else pressing starts to develop, I will certainly be back on here as quick as possible. Stream's going to stay up, so you can be locked in on your TV or locked in on your phone. It doesn't matter. But you'll just see radar and audio will drop out for a few. But I will be back on right around that 615, 620, maybe 625, somewhere in there. So, guys, we'll be back. We'll be back. I see a comment stating that there's no audio. I stepped away for just a moment, waiting to see this storm move towards Van Buren and Searcy County, and then I'll be back on. So I've got it muted. I'm just taking a little bit of a break. Got a little hectic earlier. Just want to let everyone know, just to give you guys an update on the Mountain View storm rotation weekend. They canceled the tornado warning. The rotation did appear to be, really weakening and more of just a wind risk. So they've canceled this. So no longer tornado warning for the Stone County area. Mountain View still got a severe thunderstorm warning. Really, the focus right now is this severe thunderstorm warning between Pope and Newton County, and that is going to be pushing off. That's heading towards our direction, and that's certainly, we're going to have to watch this as this continues to trend east. Right now, it's not an environment that has much storm fuel, but I think it's going to tap into some storm fuel. And uh, Barbara, when was that? Was that earlier? I don't see much rotation with the Dover storm. Who's saying that? Do you know? Is that a TV station? I don't see a tornado warning on. Well, there's not a tornado warning on it. I don't know. I'll be keeping an eye on it. It's got 1 inch hail though. To me, it looks like the primary threats would be wind with this, but that certainly could change. But be back on here, like 6:25. I'll be right back. So just taking a little bit of a rest, and we'll be back on here in just a few. So give you an overview. Severe thunderstorm warnings to our south. At this point, there's no tornado warnings in state right now, so that's great news. That is great news. So we'll be back. Focus. Remember, severe thunderstorm warning, strong storm over Mountain View. Focus is now Pope County up towards Newton County. This is a strong thunderstorm, severe, and it's going to be moving to the east. So I think I'm not sure because I don't see anything near Dover that would indicate it could produce a tornado. Don't see much rotation with it. All right, we'll be back on here about 6:25. So just hang tight with us. We'll be back. Just taking a look at radar real quick. Like I said, taking a break. Be back on here in just a few. All right. Spread the word. Be back on here in about just a couple minutes, and I'll be back on to do live coverage. Um, we're watching a little bit of development, Pope County, tad bit of rotation, but it's something we are continuing to watch. We'll be back. Okay, we're coming back in here. We're back live. Um, so watching a severe thunderstorm, it does not include Van Buren or Searcy County right now. A little bit stronger wind gust, but not really seeing any tornado threat with it. It is going to be heading towards Searcy County and northern Van Buren County. This is going to have a lot of lightning, so there's a lot of lightning potential with this. And then also we're watching a storm developing. It'll be to the west of Clinton. It has some very small hail with it. So there's a new severe thunderstorm warning just right in time. So let's watch this, continue to watch this storm. Okay, I think this is mainly going to impact northern Van Buren County. I don't see any signs of rotation with it, not at least right now. I do see certainly there's some wind with this, potentially 60-mile-an-hour wind gust. Let's see. Yep, 60-mile-an-hour wind gust, quarter size hail. No tornado possible tag or anything like that. So not seeing anything in the way of rotation, but certainly a severe thunderstorm warning in effect. And this includes Whit Springs all the way up to Snowball, Marshall, Leslie, Harriet, Flag, Old Lexington, Shirley, Clinton. So we're watching this storm very close. This is the main line. This is the main storm we were watching. And the concern is that storms could become elevated with a tornado threat. But what I'm seeing right now, I think southern Van Buren County would be more concerned for that. And so it's starting to rain a little bit here at the Weather Center. So it's good news. Good news. We could be seeing some stabilization taking place. But the main focus is this severe thunderstorm warning, and it's going to be down from Lurton, Ben Hur, Smyrna, over towards Hector. I think there's some strong wind gusts with this. I don't see anything in terms of rotation, at least not right now. Um, we'll have to watch this storm, but right now I don't see anything with rotation. But velocity has not been doing the greatest job either. So, but looking at radar scope and another program, I don't see any signs of rotation. It just kind of looks like strong winds with this. So that's really good news. Um, so we're going to continue to watch this. So if you're just joining us, we've got an active severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for majority of Searcy County and northern Van Buren County. So like I told you guys earlier, we're not out of the woods. We're far from being out of the woods. Uh, Thankfully, we're not just getting started, but we are back to a severe weather risk. So we're continuing to track this. Go ahead, share this, tag whoever, because I'm back. Took a little break, but we're back now and ready to rock and roll. So we are continuing to watch this storm very closely. We've got from Lurton all the way down to Smyrna, then to Hector. Um, Very strong storm, severe. I do think that this is in a stable environment, so that's good news. Um, but I also think that as we get closer to southern Van Buren County, I certainly think the warm front has definitely made it in the majority of Van Buren County. And so here's my concern, and I'll just show you. Ready? Right here. All right. This is the storm fuel, and we can see that we've got plenty of storm fuel to support severe weather. Here's where the warm front is supposedly near Denard. So we're going to have to watch this storm real close because if it starts tapping into this warm front, which I think it's very possible it does, uh, we're going to have to watch this. Let's see if we've got any updates with significant tornado parameter. There's a little bit of an increase from what we saw earlier. I think the biggest and worst area is off to our east. At least that's the way it's looking right now. But we certainly have an increase in some storm fuel. So we're just going to have to watch as this storm collides. And I'll go ahead and put radar up here. And we can see, yeah, see, it's if this storm starts to, we'll just have to watch. We'll know real quick if the storm starts tapping into this. If it starts tapping into this environment, then the potential for tornadoes is certainly there with this storm. But right now, we're not seeing any rotation. So that's good news. Let's go back to Skyscan Doppler here. And we are going to continue to watch this storm very closely. So I can't take any more bad news tonight. It's been pretty rough tonight. I'll tell you, there's been a lot going on. Had like 4 tornado warnings. So I'm glad I found your channel. New here, watching from All Red. Welcome, Brian. Welcome. All right, so Smyrna up towards Hector, strong thunderstorm, and it is severe. I don't even want to loop that because people will think tornado warning, but no, we don't have any active tornado warnings in effect for our area. There's tornado warning to the south of here, but severe thunderstorm warning for us. So we're good with that. So we're continuing to watch this storm very closely. All right, so here's what we've got. We've got Smyrna down to Ben Hur, up to Whit Springs, and we're watching this very closely. I do think the winds are starting to increase just a little bit, and it's going to be just to the south of Smyrna. According to radar, we're looking at about 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts with this, according to what radar's showing. There is some rotation building on this. Um, let's watch this storm. Let's watch this storm a little bit closer than what I have been. And literally, what did I tell you guys? If it starts tapping into the warm front, this is a concern. And I think it's starting to tap into the warm front. So I think there's concern here. I don't think it's rotating very much, but it's certainly showing something here. Yeah, it's definitely rotating again, but it's a weak rotation. So that's good. That's good news. But we're going to have to watch this because looking at the environment it's in, instability wise, it is starting to get into an environment that is supportive of again severe weather. Right now it's in more of a stable air mass, but as it moves east, I think it gets stronger. Let's watch this. Let's see. The big thing is to note, do we see an increase in hail? And I certainly see hail kind of expanding. I think there could be some hail all the way from Ben Hur, Smyrna, those areas. Radar is estimating under 1 inch hail with this. So, but the wind gust associated with this is going to be quite strong, and it's going to be on the leading edge of this thunderstorm. So, Smyrna up to Whit Springs. Marshall, watch this storm. Leslie, watch this storm. Denard, watch the storm. Uh, and if we put this into track, Leslie is flooding. That's what I've heard. I've seen some videos, and unfortunately, we're not even close to being done with the rain. I mean, we're not even close. Okay, now we're starting to pick up rotation again, and that's what I was afraid of. This storm is starting to ride the warm front again. Please, can we not? Can we not do this again? Um, and it's starting to curl too. I would not be surprised if they consider issuing a tornado warning on this if this continues to tighten. There's certainly rotation here, and it's going to be just south of Whit Springs, Ben Hur, Smyrna, right here. You know what? Let's go into max. We're going to max. If we have to take cover again, guys, we will be right back with you here. Let's look. Velocity scan. It's not very strong, but there's certainly something there. And so here's Highway 27, here's Highway 16, and so the area of circulation is between 27 and 16, right there. Rotation's not real strong, but it's certainly something we're gonna have to watch. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see if the NWS decides to go with a tornado uh, warning on this. I'm not entirely sure. Regardless, the storm is very strong and continues to strengthen. But it's tapping into that environment. I could see them pulling a tornado warning on this. I really could. I could see them pulling a new tornado warning. Let's just wait and see what they do. But I definitely think this is tapping into that unstable air, and it's causing storms to rotate and rotate pretty quickly. So I certainly think if you're just joining us, we are watching a very strong thunderstorm, severe storm between Whit Springs down towards Hector, and it is rotating on the leading edge here. We can see that rotation tracker. If we can look at our end rod, it's pretty strong. I think we could see a tornado warning coming. I think it's coming. Let's see. Here's a new radar scan coming in here. There's certainly still something going on here. Storm relative velocity doesn't show much in the way of rotation, but I certainly think the storm is strengthening. I would not be surprised if, I don't know, they might keep a severe thunderstorm warning. Let's just see. Let's just see what they do. But they've been dropping tornado warnings real fast tonight. So I just wonder if this could get warned. Let me see. I'm going to check NWS. Let's see if we're seeing anything, if they're talking about this storm. Um, haven't seen anything from the National Weather Service. I think right now the primary threats would be strong winds, maybe some hail with this. You can see that. There's a lot of lightning again here, so just a heads up, if we lose power, I'll be right back on the live stream just as quick as I can, so just bear with me. Hopefully I don't lose power, but if we do, there's always backups. I've got many backups set up for you guys because I want to make sure that we're always on air. That is the goal, is to stay on air even through the tornadoes that we are in. Stay on air because we want to keep you guys safe. So now obviously my safety is priority, but your safety is as well. So I'll do what I can to stay live. All right, so real quick, storm we're watching is just to the south of Whit Springs, specifically to the east of Smyrna. And I hope I'm saying that right. If I'm not, please somebody correct me. Whew, storming up pretty good here in the weather center. But maybe what this is going to do is take up all the energy for this stronger storm. We can hope that happens. Now, let's go. Let me go to storm relative velocity. Let's see. It certainly had some rotation. I think it's weaker now. You are saying Smyrna correctly. Awesome. Good deal. Good deal. I think it's weakening some. So that's good news. But the biggest thing is just where does the storm fuel? Where's the storm fuel at? That's the question. Look at all those warnings. This was previous. Guys, you talk about a tornado outbreak. Yep. When I said a tornado outbreak's on the horizon, I wasn't kidding. When I said I was concerned, I was concerned. At one point, we had 3 tornado warnings. Actually, I think we had 4 on the board. And I've even made mention of this. We had 4 tornado warnings across the state, and 3 of them were in Van Buren County. When I say I'm concerned, it's a good idea to listen because I was certainly concerned. And it panned out, unfortunately. I wish it wouldn't have, but it panned out. So we're not seeing anything from the National Weather Service on this storm. It doesn't look like it's all that strong. I mean, it's got some wind with it. But in terms of any kind of rotation or anything, I'm not really seeing much with that. So that's really good news. So we're going to continue to track this storm very closely. Continue to watch this. I think it's rocking pretty good in Wet Springs right now. I think it's rocking to the east of Smyrna. This is moving off towards, it's going to be off towards the same area that just got the tornado warnings earlier. I think the almost exact area. I don't see, I don't really see, I mean, there's some spin there, but I think the storm itself is just rotating. And, but I think the wind fields are so strong with this. But we are getting to that peak time of, tornadoes. So that's going to be the thing. Okay, they've just issued a new severe thunderstorm warning. Let's see if they put tornado possible tag on this. I don't know that they will. I doubt it. So significant tornado parameter. I'm looking at that. Not looking very high. There's activity to our east, but for the most part, not seeing much for us. So that's good news. Let's go back to Max and get some better towns here. If we zoom in, I think strongest storm is near Magic Springs over towards Bohannon, Bear Creek, Welcome Home, Chimes, right on your doorstep, Zion Hill, Dabney, Robert, Rex, Austin, Lost Corner, those areas, it's rocking pretty good right there. I think it's rocking pretty good. If we go to storm velocity, don't really see any rotation with it. I think this is mainly just a straight line winds threat with this storm. But here's the concern. Here's the concern. You could look at this and you could say, well, you know, what's the concern with this, Blaze? Well, I think we've got two things to worry about. Number one, damaging winds. Number two is flooding. We've got a serious flooding situation unfolding. I've heard multiple reports Leslie is flooding. So, like, you add that into the equation, and this is a lot more heavy rain. This is a lot, and this is going to drop even more heavy rain. So, yeah, there's severe weather threat, but I'm really concerned about this flooding threat. Like, I'm serious. Like, this is a concern because a lot of areas are flooding right now. So, let's be honest. The last thing you want to hear when there's a storm outbreak is rotation. I know, Matthew. I completely understand. I completely understand. Got questions coming in about how's Shirley looking. Let's go Skyscan Doppler for a second. We'll look at a few areas. So Old Lexington, I think you're getting a little bit of rain here. There's a pretty good storm north of Clinton. I'm here in the Weather Center. I can confirm that. It's heavy rain. Got some lightning with it. Denard, I think you just got some heavy rain. Leslie, some heavy rain. And then Big Flat, heavy rain. Landis, heavy rain. Gilbert. I think St. Joe down to Gilbert, down to Snowball, dealing with some very heavy rain. But I suspect we're fixing to see a real uptick in the heavy rain towards Leslie. My yard was underwater an hour ago. Oh my goodness. That's not good. Oh my goodness. I hate that. I assume, Matthew, are you and Leslie? Oh man, they're dealing with some major flooding. I don't think Leslie's the only area that's affected with flooding. Brooke says, raining hard here in Clinton again. Thank you for that report. The rain ahead of this is actually better because that could potentially stabilize our atmosphere. So that's good. That's good. Um, Still storm fuel here, and we're still continuing to watch this storm very closely to the south of Whit Springs. So there might still be some rotation here, but mine looks like a lake. Yeah, I mean we're dealing with multiple areas that are flooding, and unfortunately, we are getting even more. Near Whit Springs, skies are very green. Okay, Riley. So that's the indication right there. The updraft potential pretty strong, and that makes sense because there's some hail with this. So that's certainly something we got to watch. I don't think there's a tornado threat or an active tornado threat with this particular storm, but it has showed signs of spin a little bit. But I think it's going to be past the Whit Springs area here in just a minute. So. All right, so here's Old Lexington. Here's Denard. Heavy rain. Clinton probably getting some heavy rain or fixing to. Well, I know they are because Brooke said they were. Smyrna. Strongest storm past you now, but guys, very heavy rain with wind. A lot of lightning with this. I think people are fixing to see some elevated lightning with this. Yeah, especially just to the south of Whit Springs. So. We're continuing to watch this. Still got severe thunderstorm warnings to the south. We don't have any tornado warnings in the state right now, so that's good news. Really good news. This looks pretty interesting. Up around St. James. That'd be Stone County again. No rain yet in Denard. Well, that's fixing to change. That's fixing to really change. Because we're fixing to see some very heavy rain moving through. I think there's small hail with this. And I think there's very heavy rain. It's very heavy rain in Allred. Thank you for that report. Would you consider it safe to go home? Where are you at, Donna, right now? It depends where you are. I could stand the rain if it didn't come with a storm. I completely understand. So are we good for the evening? So that's a good question. No, not right now. There is still a severe weather threat for us. I think when this main line pushes through, then I think it turns more into an isolated severe risk. And So I don't think we're ever out of the woods completely, but I certainly think the severe weather risk is going to drop. So, um, I'm interested, or you're at B Branch working. No, 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 no. I would not head to Denard from B Branch. You're going to get into the middle of this, and this is going to be terrible visibility for driving. I would hang out in B Branch. I would just wait. Does Conway look concerning? Yes. Yes, it does. It's looking very concerning. Yeah, Donna, I would 100% just wait. Because you're gonna be driving into this, and this is gonna be pretty rough. I mean, this has, let's see, radar's estimating, 50, 60 mile an hour winds with this. You do not want to be on the road when this is hitting you. So we're gonna stay on this. Chimes, it's right on the doorstep of Chimes. Pretty strong thunderstorm. It's severe warned. You likely will be seeing 50 to 60 mile an hour wind gust with this. Can't even talk. Heavy rain and a little hail a little while ago has passed now. Thank you. Where is that at? Not sure on location. Is Mountain View looking concerning? Let's look at Mountain View. Not right now. I think this particular storm that is severe warned near St. James, I think that's going to miss you. But now this severe thunderstorm, it's picking up here. I hear the lightning. I don't hear lightning. Sorry, I hear the thunder. I want to be correct on that. I should know better. So, I think the severe weather risk uh, is definitely going to increase when this line moves through. So this is definitely headed your direction towards Mountain View. Fairfield Bay, clear right now. But guys, anybody in Van Buren County, especially in northern Van Buren County, needs to be watching this strong thunderstorm. It does have the potential to produce 50 to 60 mile an hour wind gust. So we are continuing to watch this very close. So looks like we got a new tornado warning coming, and I think it's going to be for this storm right here. But again, that's going to be to the east of you. But certainly, I think there's a tornado warning coming, and I think it's going to be. I bet it's going to be this area right here. Yep, betcha tornado warning coming. Um, got multiple questions coming in here. We've got how's Batesville looking? Still got a severe weather threat. We're gonna have to be watching very closely. Really thundering and lightning in Scotland now. Thank you for that report. Again, storms really starting to pick up here at the Weather Center. We've got lightning on the increase. So just be aware if we lose power because of a lightning strike, I'll be on just as quick as I can on live stream. So our internet is on backup battery thanks to our telco. And so we are set up to continue streaming, just not from our main computer. I need to get me a backup battery. That's what I'm working on getting right now. I need to buy one that can keep all this stuff going, which there's a lot of stuff that runs. So I'm gonna have to buy that. But once I do that, then if we lose power because of a lightning strike, we will still be live. Like I said, our internet's on backup battery, so our internet's good. So, and that means our scanner system, I just installed a backup battery on it. So the whole scanner system that runs Van Buren, Searcy County, all that is on a 3-hour backup battery. So scanners should continue to run whatever we've got going on. Plus, it's on major surge protectors, so lightning hits us, we're gonna be all right. I hope. All right. Let's see. Clinton, heavy rain. If it's not, I mean, it's kind of off and on for Clinton, but I think it's going to increase. Leslie, Oxley, okay. Watch this storm, guys. Severe thunderstorm warning. It includes Marshall, Leslie, Clinton. This is going to be strong. When it pushes through, it's going to be very strong. It's a strong thunderstorm. It's got a ton of lightning with it. So just be aware of that. I don't see any tornado risk with it right now. So that's good news. Let's see. Rita's watching. Welcome. How bad is Clinton fixing to get it? Honestly, I think the strongest part of the storm is going to go to the north of Clinton, truthfully. But I certainly think heavy rain is definitely likely with this. 3 inches of rain since this morning on South Mountain and Marshall. Thank you for that report. Um, Hail on South Mountain. Thank you guys for the report. What you've got is according to, I think it was Brooklyn Kelly. She gave me a report, said it's 55 degrees up there. And so the warm front has not made it to Searcy County, or if it has, it's getting trapped right around South Mountain. So 55 degrees is going to make me think that these storms up here is going to be elevated. I think storms to the south, Van Buren County south, is going to be more surface based, which that's where your bigger severe weather, that's where it comes in. So let's look at storm fuel. We certainly have it. And I think the reason why storms aren't dying out completely is because they're tapping into this storm fuel right now. Let's see. Is anything going to come towards B Branch? You've got heavy rain. You know, we've got to watch. According to the track right now, I think this misses us, but we certainly are going to have to watch to our south. But I truthfully think, though, that this right here is going to stabilize our atmosphere or do a lot of stabilization. All right, hail on South Mountain and power flickering. Okay, thank you for that report, Brooklyn. Is it still 55 degrees up there? There's a new tornado warning in Arkansas. Yeah, it's up here towards Cushman, Mount Pleasant, St. James, but it does not affect us, and it won't affect us. Got a text says which I normally don't check text, but said something about 4 inches, I think, towards Chimes. What I think I just saw. The best way to reach me is just comment on the live stream because I watch all the comments here. I've got a screen that it shows me. So if you text me and call me, I don't always see that. This goes for anybody. Anybody that texts or calls me during live streams, I typically don't even have my phone. I turn my phone off or it's not on alert mode basically. So all right. 60 degrees at Chimes dropped from 68 a few minutes ago. Okay. Good news. If that happened right there, that's real good news. That's really good news. 4.5 inches in Chimes now. Thank you for that report. That's a lot of rain. That is a lot of rain to pick up, and there's a lot more coming. So there may be a chance of it coming to B Branch. Got you. Certainly, the severe weather risk, you'll know if temperatures drop pretty quick, then the severe weather risk will be lower. But if it's still like Hope says it's 72 degrees in B Branch, I mean, you still got a severe weather threat. 100% got a severe weather threat. Even when this line passes through, if it's still 72 degrees, there's still a severe weather threat with this. So this is just starting to enter Van Buren County now. Someone said Highway 110 plant. So far, just a stronger storm, lightning, heavy rain. The big focus is off to our west, and we're continuing to watch this. I'm going to take a drink real quick. How's Conway looking for the rest of the night? I would watch Conway. Conway's going to be set up even more for severe weather. Certainly watching the storm here towards Mount Ida. I think that tracks towards Conway, and that's going to be what we're going to have to watch. So, really the only tornado warning we've got now in Arkansas is this one over towards St. James, Cushman, Mount Pleasant, Cave City. It appears this is a pretty strong line here. Petty Gene update. Power has been restored. Crews replaced a broken line due to a lightning strike. Crews are en route to the Jerusalem Hector area responding to an outage. Approximately 100 people affected by the outage. We'll keep you informed. So I just wonder, if we get any damage. There was rotation right there, and it was on the leading edge of that warm front. I mean, I didn't hear anything of confirmation of it being on the ground, but it's certainly something we need to investigate. What time for Clinton? Well, so I think this storm right here is going to go. I think it impacts Clinton. I think it brings some heavy rain to Clinton. I think the strongest stuff goes to the north of Clinton, though. Botkenberg, Denard, Leslie, be watching this. This is a strong storm. And then the biggest thing is just going to be any storms that form to our south. We got to watch it. But regardless of the severe weather threat, again, heavy rain is likely in the area. So, like, even with storms. Like, okay, and let me say this. You got to know the criteria that we have severe weather for. Okay. Severe weather is 58-mile-an-hour winds or greater or 1-inch hail. Lightning does not make a storm severe, and 45-mile-an-hour wind gust does not make a storm severe. So, what does this mean? Well, I'll tell you right here. Just because I say the severe weather risk is very low for us does not mean you won't see thunderstorms with 40, 50-mile-an-hour wind gust, quarter size hail, and very destructive lightning. So just keep that in mind, because I don't want anybody to be like, well, you said, it's going to be clear. I said the tornado risk, severe threat, is going to go down significantly, but there's certainly still thunderstorm potential over the next several hours. Like, this is not anywhere close to being over. Okay, here's new radar scan. Really starting to crank up. I think the wind gust is really starting to increase. This is going to be here in the Weather Center here in just a moment, so I'm curious to know what this is going to do here. Let's see what takes place. So, uh, I mean, look at this storm right here near St. James. This one right here. Guys, we might, as tight as this is and the way this looks, I wouldn't be surprised if we got a tornado on the ground in St. James. I'm serious. I am serious. That is a concerning storm right there. Thankfully, that's not in our area. But if you know anybody in St. James, Cushman, Mount Pleasant, keep an eye on this. Let's see. How about the Timbo area? This storm, very strong. It's headed right for Timbo. It's going to hit Timbo, Flag, Fox, Old Lexington, Shirley, Fairfield Bay. You guys are in this line. 71% chance of severe wind with this. I just hope we don't see another Lake City storm tonight. Honestly, that was very bad. Concerns definitely growing with the St. James storm. I don't think that's kind of how that would be, but there's some concern. It's rough at my house. Denard just fired up again. Heavy rain, lightning, and hail. Lots of lightning and thunder. Watching. Can you confirm a tornado down north of Batesville? Reports are coming in that there is something there. I'm waiting on information, but from what I'm seeing and hearing is there is definitely a tornado on the ground near St. James area. That's what I'm seeing. And so that's a report I've got. So any second now, we're going to see this change to it's going to be a confirmed tornado. It's going to go pink on our radar here in just a second. So that's our first tornado that I'm aware of that's on the ground tonight. So we've made it to 7 o'clock. So that's good. That's good news. But still, the threat, far from being over. How about a Scotland and all red looking right now? I think you're going to get heavy rain. Could be some gusty winds. But I think the strongest part of this storm is going to go to your north. A lot of lightning, though. Oh, my goodness. A lot of lightning with this, guys. Scotland, Cleveland area for the rest of the evening. Keep an eye on the weather. I think this line's turning more into a heavy rain event. So I think heavy rain is definitely likely. But definitely something we got to continue to watch. Again, I think there's isolated severe threat for the rest of the night, but I do think this is going to transition more into just a heavy rain event once this line pushes through. Can you give a time when the tornado threat will go away? I heard. Well, that was in that direction, and there was certainly rotation at that point, Abby. I don't know. I have not heard that yet. I have not heard, but I haven't even looked at my phone much or been on Facebook. So I don't know. I don't know. I'll do some research. I certainly think it's possible. Do you know of any damage that we got reports of if it was on the ground at the fairgrounds? If you get any proof, you text me. Just direct message me because I'm really curious on this. I haven't heard that, but I also haven't been listening to the scanner or anything like that. So they may have been reporting stuff on the scanner. I don't know. Things got real hectic during that time. We had a bunch of people showing up to our safe room and our safe location. And so I just kind of, I was more focused on just radar. I'm just before the fairgrounds and haven't heard anything. Okay, thank you, Angela. Lakin says, "How is Yellville? Are the tornadoes past Yellville? The threat's not over. Definitely not over for Yellville. In terms of the active tornado warning that is in effect right now, yes, this is off to your east. But I, you know, I'm gonna go out on a limb here, but I really think the Yellville area. I just think it's heavy rain. I really, I, I don't want to be wrong here, but I really feel like the Yellville is just heavy rain. Okay, so someone's reporting Alan Robertson got a pretty cool video of a tail. Okay. Can somebody tag me in that or send that to me? That would be great. People asking if there's damage near the fairgrounds. Halen Leslie, thank you for that report. Very strong storm here. I think things are going to start to crank up a little bit for both Searcy County and Van Buren County. Very strong storm over Marshall right now. So you could say, well, is there rotation? No, I don't think so. I think what we're looking at here is we're looking at a damaging wind threat. I don't see any rotation with this. So that's really good news. So heavy rain from Marshall, Leslie. Yes, again, Leslie's fixing to get even more heavy rain. We don't need any more rain, but there's a lot more rain. Very glad no damage reported. That is good. That is good. It may be one of those things. It just kind of dropped and then it picked right back up. So I did see a picture of maybe something over towards 65 near Botkenberg earlier on Facebook. I did see that. But I'm not for certain that was. It was hard to tell. It was either a funnel cloud or a scud cloud. But given the environment and given the way things looked, rotation wise, it certainly could have been a funnel cloud. So it's right on the doorstep of Leslie, Marshall, Denard. Valerie says small hail and Leslie. Thank you for that report. Jaden says not even penny size hail though. That's good. Trey says heavy rain in Clinton. All right, guys. Good deal. Good deal. I mean, at this point now, we've got enough rain though. If the rain stopped, I'd be okay with that, right? Would everybody be okay with that? Because I sure would. I'm like done with the rain. We don't need any more rain. We're done. We are done here. Okay. So we're continuing to watch this. Continuing to watch a few areas that are stronger. I think there's hail on the doorstep of Denard. And I think heavy rain. Marshall, Rock Springs, Leslie, Clinton, I think is picking up heavy rain again. Scotland, Formosa. You know what? Let's see. I don't have lightning on here. Let me see if I can overlay the lightning. Just 1 second. Because I'm real curious to see how much lightning we've got with these storms. Because I know they have to be electrified right now. I'm checking here. You know what? I think radar scope is going to do a better job of showing lightning. So let's go one panel. Hang on, guys. Just a second. I want to look at the lightning. Just real curious. Does this not have lightning? Yeah, it does. There it is. It's updating now. Okay, let's look at this here. Let's go. Let's look at our lightning here. And let me clear this off. Look at all this lightning, guys. It is electrified. Here's Leslie. Here's Marshall. Here's Clinton. look at all of this lightning. It is extremely, extremely a light show outside. If you were outside right now, which I don't recommend you do that, because obviously it's lightning and that's dangerous. But if you were outside, it is probably like lightening up and popping like crazy out there right now. Skycam and Marshall. Well, let's look at it. I don't see. I was gonna look for lightning with it, and I don't see it. So I do see lightning on the camera on the Skycam. You know what? Let's go. Let's go. Shift this camera. Starting to pick up here at the weather center. Storming a little bit better. Um, Intensity's picking up certainly. I mean, it's right on the doorstep of the weather center, so that makes sense. I'm turning the camera here. I'm gonna try to see if we can't get some better lightning shots with this. We are gonna look directly towards Denard and Leslie area. Boy, it's storming pretty good here in the weather center. I can hear it right now. All right, let's put the sky cam up here. Ooh, it's starting to really pick up, guys. I'm serious. It's certainly starting to pick up. There's the sky cam. I've got it there. You can see this is in Marshall, and it's looking towards this storm. And woo, y'all see that lightning right there? That's a live shot of Marshall. And so we can see that lightning. We've got real good shots of it. Let me turn the camera just a tad bit too. That's good right there. I think we'll certainly get some really good shots with this. So this is a live look at Marshall, and so we're looking. So we're looking at this storm, and we're looking straight, almost straight south. We're actually looking more towards the southeast of it, and for the reason for that is so we can catch lightning. It's definitely picking up in intensity here in the weather center. Lightning's increasing some. It's pretty electrified out there. Just tell you, we see that. So again, if we get some kind of a strike locally and power goes out, I will be right back on live stream. Just hang tight. All right. So here's Marshall, Leslie, Denard, storming pretty good right now in the area. What about Choctaw now? It got dark. Yeah, this line, it's a strong line and it's moving to the east. And I certainly think it's bringing some very heavy rain. I think there's some wind with this. Yeah, there's certainly some wind, but I really think the biggest thing, guys, is I certainly think the worst is the lightning with this. The lightning's very fierce. You can see that on the sky cam. It is very fierce. So, weather center is north of Clinton. I don't like to give my address or location out, but north of Clinton. So that's why when we're in an area or being affected with something by Botkenberg, it affects us pretty good. So lightning is certainly on the increase, and we can see that on our sky cam, and we also can see that on the live radar too. Um, it's just heavy rain from Marshall, Leslie down to Denard, over towards Clinton. What a week it's been. We've had multiple chances of severe weather, and then today's severe weather actually panned out. So, yeah, Kelly, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. A generator would be that's a great idea. That is a great idea. I've got my scanner system is on it's on a backup battery, but everything else is not. So, and my Wi-Fi is on a backup battery, thanks to Arkansas Telephone Company. In your opinion, do you think there will be more tornado warnings for Stone County from the storms west of us now? Let me look. I it's hard to say, but I feel like it's a lower chance. It is certainly a lower chance. Because you're losing your daytime heating. So you have to take that into account. And I feel like, I mean, if this was going to storm, if this was going to rotate and turn into a tornado threat, I think it would have already done it. So it's riding the warm front, and I don't think it's doing much of anything. Yeah, it's making it electrified out there with lightning. But in terms of any kind of tornadic activity with this, I don't see that. No, not at least right now. Um, so personally, I don't think we'll see any more tornado warnings, but like, don't let your guard down. Don't let your guard down. There's still a threat there. So small hail at my house in Oxley. Thank you for that report. Hailing at my house in Oxley. Thank you for that report. Raining again in Choctaw. Thank you. Thank you, Hope. A lot of lightning here. It's starting to calm down here in the weather center though. So that's good news. But man, there's so much lightning here. So much lightning. I said it was calming down. Here we are again, picking back up. Maybe we're just in that calm before the storm. No pun intended. All right. According to radar now, 1-inch hail potential. So the hail threat's increasing for Denard. I certainly think the storm might be strengthening some. I think it's really strong over Denard right now. So I think Denard's getting some hail. Yeah, Linda, I think it's a great idea just to have a way of getting warnings. I don't think, I mean, you know, I don't think we'll see much more for you guys, but you know, you never want to be wrong and you never want to be incorrect. And also, I want to be safe, rather safe than sorry, right? I want to keep you guys safe. So that's what I was trying to say. It's been a long day. We've been live for over, let's see, 2 hours and almost 40 minutes. We've been live for a while here, from the start of this duration of the event to here to the end. So, and we're going to stay right on it. We ain't going anywhere. It's heavy rain. Just look at that lightning, though. What a shot from Marshall. It's just electrified out there. All right, just a lot of rain and thundering and lightning in Denard. Thank you for that report. Nick says they're on their way home. Yeah. Yeah, it's rocking out there. Rocking out there. Heavy rain here at the weather center. Heavy rain. I think the severe weather threat is actually dying down. They've went ahead and canceled severe thunderstorm warning. Severe thunderstorm warning has been canceled. Wow. Interesting. That's good news. That's very good news. So what they're saying is this is moved into more of a just a heavy rain event. Wow. Interesting. That's good news. That's really good news. I did not expect that, but I am happy. Do you think there will be another chance of any more tornadoes in Clinton? I don't I don't think so. Not right now. Um not not right now anyway. I feel like the threat is coming down pretty quick for our area. I think once we get past this band, then our threat's going to drop. I'm surprised the National Weather Service doesn't have this as a confirmed tornado. They do not have this as confirmed, which is really interesting to me because there's a storm spotter or chaser that's reporting it's on the ground. I don't understand why it's not confirmed. The wind, rain, and lightning is crazy in Shirley right now. Thank you, Abby, for that report. Yeah, it's well, and also you got to take into account there's some hail with this too. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, it's certainly time to get the boat out for sure. It's calm here in Fairfield Bay at the moment. Thank you for that report, Mary. That was funny, and you tagged him too, so he'll see that. He's probably on the live stream though. Here's what we've got. We've got lightning developing as usual, but I don't even know why I said lightning's developing. I'm making no sense here. Here's what you need to know. All right. This storm in particular does look like the hail risk might be increasing. It's got extremely heavy rain right around Denard down to Clinton. So just keep this in mind. Highway 65, if you're on Highway 65, you probably don't have very good visibility right now. We have a really good shot of this on our sky cam here in Marshall. Things are clearing, but lightning is off to the east. I'm going to go ahead and change the camera here. We're going to go ahead and move this camera. We haven't been able to use the camera at all because visibility's been awful in the Marshall area. But now I think things are starting to kind of die down a little bit. So we're going to shift it northeast a little bit. All right. So you should be seeing some more lightning potential right there. Now we're looking at the storm. If we were off towards Alco, Timbo, Flag, that area is where this camera's pointed now. So very, very strong thunderstorm here with small hail. Not 1-inch hail or anything like that, but it's certainly, you'll notice. You'll hear the hail hitting your window, or roof. Then again, it's not much. Maybe 1/2 inch hail. So not expecting much, but really started to pick up storming here at the weather center. And I mean that makes sense because it's right over here. It almost looks, well, it's not, but visibility not bad right now on 65. Thank you for that report. That's good. That's good. That is great. Thank you, Keisha. Ashley says, watching here at 911. Welcome, guys. Welcome, guys. I know you guys have been busy. Have you got any reports of damage or anything in terms of maybe a possible touchdown somewhere in Van Buren County today? I haven't heard anything, but I saw somebody was reporting there were some reports coming in, something about the fairgrounds, but I don't know. I didn't know if you guys had any calls coming in at 911. That's really weakening. Look at that. Look, guys, that was pretty aggressive. Now that's just heavy rain. This whole thing just looks like heavy rain to me now. That's good. I tagged you in it. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Let's go. Let's go look at this. Hang on. Let's see. Oh, I see it right here. Interesting. I'm looking at the video right now. Huh. There was definitely something there. It had some serious development. Wow, it's a good video. That's a really good video. Thank you for tagging me guys in that. I appreciate it. Okay, no reports of any touchdown or damage. We got lucky for sure. Awesome, Ashley. Good deal. Yeah, no, we 100% lucked out with this. This could have been absolutely devastating tonight. And it looked that way. But thankfully, like Jeannie says, answered prayers. Absolutely. I know there's a lot of people praying. because the atmosphere tonight today just looked very supportive of some serious severe weather. And most of the time, I'm just like, oh yeah, just severe weather threat. We'll get through this. But I was very concerned. I was like, this is looking like an absolute outbreak, and it's on the horizon. So, well, guys, you're gonna stay on here for just a few minutes longer, but I mean, there's no severe thunderstorm warning. It looks like just heavy rain for us. I think the severe weather threat is winding down. Not going to give the all clear, but I certainly think this is turning into more of a heavy rain event. I don't see anything. I don't see anything that is concerning by any means. This just looks heavy rain with maybe some small hail with it, and we can see that lightning on the sky cam. So that's definitely on the increase. But I certainly think we are maybe at the end of this event, uh, the severe event that is. Um, but in terms of flooding, we're just getting started. There's a lot more rain coming. So, is there a severe weather risk for tomorrow? That's the question, right? Well, let's look at that because I know people are curious. So, this is old data. So let me update it with the newest guidance. And so here's the line of thunderstorms. It's already pushed through. It's affecting us right now. Okay. And then there's more heavy rain. I don't think there's a severe weather threat. There could be some rumbles of thunder about 2, 3 in the morning. And then here we are again. And this is early tomorrow morning. Maybe some rumbles of thunder as early as 6 a.m. And then a lot more heavy rain. Now, is there a severe weather risk at this point? Well, I don't think so. I think the warm front is going to be too far south. But I definitely think, hang on. I think there might be a hail threat with this tomorrow. Whoops. Let's go back. Yeah, I think there's an isolated severe risk tomorrow. It'll be early in the morning. Uh Probably right around 8 to 11 a.m. I don't see really a tornado threat with it. I think it would be a hail risk. And it would be, you know, elevated storms versus them being surface based. Today, they were surface based. Tomorrow, they'll be elevated for us. So that's good news. Yeah, flooding, that's no joke. That is serious. Matter of fact, we're going to go back to the computer models. And let's go. Let's go. Hang on. We'll do a blend solution because I think that's going to be the most accurate. No, actually, we're going to go HRRR. Let's go HRRR. And give me 1 second, guys. I'm working on this. All right. So this is precipitation total. And so this shows us, this is at midnight, getting 2 inches in Van Buren County. Watch what happens from midnight all night. And then another band of heavy rain. I think the biggest heavy rain is going to be tomorrow morning. But by noon on Saturday, I mean, we're showing 5 additional inches of rain on top of what we've already got. So that is why this rainfall threat or this flooding threat is very serious. So roadways, if they are flooded, do not travel. Cannot stress that enough. So this could certainly be a serious situation. So please take it serious. If the roadway is flooded, do not travel. So yeah, I mean, again, I think there's like right here, 9 a.m. Let me get my arrow. Hail threat tomorrow? Yeah. Would not be surprised if we get under kind of a marginal risk or maybe even a slight risk. I doubt it. Let's see. Let's see if we're under anything right now. I should know this, but I'm really focused on today. Okay, so we're under a marginal to slight risk for severe storms tomorrow. The enhanced risk is off to our south, southeast. So unless something changes, I think it's isolated severe risk. I think lightning, literally, I think lightning is the biggest thing because a lot of these um is certainly on the increase. So, well, guys, let's go back to Skyscan Doppler. I'm planning to jump off here in the next few minutes. This is heavy rain. I can't give you the all clear, but like there's flash flood warnings popping up. There's serious heavy rain headed our direction. I don't see anything. I don't see any severe weather risk. I don't see much of anything. I just came back on. Did you say 5 more inches? According to the computer model, yes. Van Buren County could pick up an additional 5 inches. Yeah, it's could be serious. Flooding could be a absolute serious concern. We're certainly going to have to watch this. That's why I cannot give the all clear for Van Buren County, especially Southern Van Buren County, to see if it's kind of hard to pinpoint where these storms are going to go and the track of them. So I definitely think we'll have to watch Perry County. Here's the good news. I'm not going to sleep anytime soon, and it's only 7:30. So, and I don't think you guys will be going to sleep either. It's Friday night. So, um, we'll have to watch it. We'll have to watch the track. I think it misses us, but something we're going to have to keep a very close eye on. Guys, I am going to jump off here because there's really no reason to be live. We have no severe thunderstorm warnings. Got no active threat right now. And we're just kind of looking over radar. Heavy rain likely. There could be some gusty winds with this. And I think lightning is 100% likely. But I think for the most part, this threat is... I think for the most part, this threat is coming to an end with the severe weather. The flooding threat continues to increase. I'm serious. Flooding threat could be life-threatening, very dangerous. So please, 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 please do not travel on flooded roadways. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you all so much for tuning into the broadcast. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. I think we're finished. Um, I if for some reason this severe storm continues to push our direction and we end up getting another severe thunderstorm warning, then I will definitely be right back live. Trust me. But I'm going to take a break. I'm going to eat some food because I'm a little hungry. And I will certainly be back on here if something goes down because your safety is number one priority. So thank you all so much. I hope y'all have a great rest of your night. Remember, thunderstorms, severe weather, 58-mile-an-hour wind gust, 1 inch hail. So even though I'm stating, the severe weather risk is very low, it doesn't mean we can't roll out some gusty winds or small hail. And very heavy rain and lightning is likely. Guys, we'll see you. Good night, everybody. If we have to go live again, we'll be right back here to bring you the action. Thank you all so much for trusting me. It means the absolute world to me, and I appreciate you guys so much. And you guys are just phenomenal. I appreciate you. Don't forget, we're streaming on YouTube. So if Facebook messes up or you want to put us on your big screen TV, look up the Blizzard and Blaze weather page. All right. A lot of people saying thank you. You guys are welcome. You guys are welcome. If I can keep you safe, that is my priority. All right, guys. We'll see you later. You guys have a good rest of your night. Like I said, we'll be ready to go if something happens. Conway County Office of Emergency Management's watching. That's awesome. All right, good night, everybody.